do is we're going to go over basically the semantics and the setup of the three positions that we use for our Olympic movements. Okay, so we're going to go over position 1, 2, 3, and what those look like within our programming. So what Scott's going to do is he's going to start with position 1 for me. What position 1 is going to be, and what most people would recognize this as, is the high hang position. So Scott's going to go ahead, he's going to get into position 1 for me. We're going to talk about a couple things that we're going to look for our athletes when we start in this position. So Scott's already in a good spot where he's got his head forward, he's not looking up towards the ceiling, he's focused on the spot in front of him on the horizon. Okay, so head position is good. Shoulders are just in front of the bar, maybe in line with the barbell. This is a good position for him to pull from in position 1. Okay, so what we're going to look at as well is the foot position. We always want our athletes to think about full foot interaction with the platform, so he's not rocked back onto his heels. He's able to have a good base set from his feet and push through the floor and shrug, pull, complete the lift. Okay, so just stand up from his side. So now what we're going to look at is now Scott is going to go into what we'll call position 2, or the low hang position. So all Scott's going to do is get down to position 2 for us. Okay, so notice how shoulders are now over the barbell. Okay, he has a little bit of knee bend, got a good amount of hip flexion, he's got a stretch of the hamstring. He's still thinking about full foot interaction with the platform. He's again not rocked back on his heels. Okay, we notice Scott's head position. He's looking forward, focused on a point in the horizon. So the reason why we gotta have this straightforward head position looking forward, not up to the ceiling or down to the platform, is we want to make sure that our balance system is set up well, so that when we go and do a ballistic type movement like a clean or a snatch, that our balance system is going to get thrown off by jerking our head up to try to get into a good position. Okay, go ahead and stand up with Scott. So now what Scott's going to do is he's going to go down to position 3. Okay, so this would be from the floor position. Now the only thing we want to make note of is that not every athlete is designed to pull from the floor. Okay, so different body types and just kind of makeups are not going to allow taller athletes to pull well from the floor in a conventional stance. So position 3 would be ideally from the floor if the athlete has that requisite mobility. If not, then we'll start them from a raised position. Remember, these are athletes that are going to do Olympic lifts, not Olympic lifts. Okay, so that's our position 3. Now, the only other thing we want to think about here is, again, we don't want to have our shoulder blades pulled back, forcing us into extension. What we want is we want bracing through the abdominals. He has a tight grip on the barbell, which is getting his lats tight, but he's not pulling his shoulders back, getting into a hyperextended position. Okay, go ahead and stand up now. So what we're going to talk about now is just a couple semantic things in terms of what is power, what is clean, and what is a pull, and what do those things mean within our professional or programming scheme. Okay? So when we say clean pull, we know we're going to catch in a front rack, but when we say pull, the athlete is just going to think about triple extending, shrugging, and pulling on the bar, and not actually catching on the shoulders or above the head in the case of a snatch. Okay? So when we say power, what that's going to dictate now is how does the athlete catch the barbell. Okay, so power isn't going to be in a full squat position. We're still going to catch with some knee bend and some hip flexion, absorbing the load of the barbell, but we're not squatting all the way down to or below 90 to catch the load. Now, when we use the word clean, that's going to dictate that we're going to catch the bar in a full squat position, and these are going to be more reserved for heavier loads that we're going to be using. Okay, so again, we have clean pull or snatch pull, where we're not actually catching the bar overhead or in the front rack, we're just triple extending and shrugging. We then have our power position, where we are now going to catch the bar in the front rack or over the head and go into basically almost like a quarter squat, and our power position looks something like this. Okay, and then the clean full squat. All right, so now what Scott's going to go ahead and do is he's just going to go through position 1, 2, and 3, doing a clean pull. Okay, so he went through each position, same thing from each position. Obviously the mechanic's a little bit different, but there's no catch. He's just shrugging and pulling, full foot interaction with the ground, okay? So now what we'll do is he's gonna go ahead and now he's gonna catch the bar in the front rack position. So this is gonna be from 1, 2, and 3, and it's gonna be a power clean. Excellent, okay, so very, very good example of all 3 of those positions. Now what we're gonna do is Scott is then gonna go back through those positions and he's gonna do a clean, okay? So we've removed the word power, so now he knows he's doing a full clean where he's catching in a deeper squat position.
The last thing that we're going to mention here is vertical versus horizontal weight displacement. So as Scott's getting into triple extension and the bar is going to meet his hips, we don't want to think we're going to throw our hips into the bar. We want to think push through the floor. We want to generate vertical movement rather than horizontal movement through the hips. So Scott's going to show us a couple examples here. The first one, horizontal displacement, where he's thinking he's going to bring his hips to the bar and smack the bar with his hips. So what's going to happen here is the shoulders are going to end up behind the bar, and then we're going to have some backwards movement, and that's not going to be a good thing when we're getting into our catch because we have our momentum moving backwards. So what we want to think about is really driving our feet through the floor and getting a vertical weight displacement so the bar is traveling upwards. What's going to happen here is we may get some contact through the hips to the bar, but it's going to be in a vertical fashion rather than horizontal. So what's going to happen here is the shoulders are going to end up behind the bar, and then we're going to have some backwards movement, and that's not going to be a good thing when we're getting into our catch because we have our momentum moving backwards. So what we want to think about is really driving our feet through the floor and getting a vertical weight displacement so the bar is traveling upwards. What happens here is we may get some contact through the hips to the bar, but it's going to be in a vertical fashion rather than horizontal. Shoulders are going to remain over in line with the bar and they don't end up behind. And we're not getting overextension through the lumbar spine.